You received a call from an inmate at the Department of Corrections. This call will be recorded and monitored.
Well, hello, Mr. Clay. I haven't heard from you in a while. I'm busy. Oh my goodness. I have not heard that. So how long has she been missing? Over a month. Over a month. That has got to be stressful on you. Oh my, I don't know. How in the world can you sit in there and maintain a normal life when your daughter is just gone? Well, yeah, I don't really expect too much support from the Department of Corrections. They're definitely not the best people to work with on something like that. But have you contacted the local authorities or something? Oh, yeah. They blocked your calls. Oh, jeez. You would think law enforcement would be a little more helpful. You think it's because you're locked away in prison and they figure there's nothing you can do to support your daughter? I mean, you would have information about her that not a lot of people would know, and maybe that could help them find her. Everybody's help should be welcomed. Yeah, I agree. It's just, this has got to be maddening. I am so sorry for you. Maybe if you send me some information or if you give me a contact. Okay, yeah, I'll contact your son and we'll get out and see what we can do. I mean, there's got to be some kind of information on her. I'm pretty sure she's, no, it's natural for us to just assume the worst. Has she been known to run away or something? She has a condition. Oh. Well, you think that's why she just wandered off? I know a lot of people that suffer from dementia or something, they'll wander away. But, with people surrounding her, well, is it possible that somebody took her? Oh, boy. Jeez. Well, I don't want to hear sad news. I'd rather hear good news from you, and I really don't see anything that you could possibly say that would ease this situation. It's got to be maddening. You can't really reach out to anybody, and nobody's keeping you in the loop. And your daughter is gone, and well, yeah, and that's the good thing. Your kids are stepping up. They're really showing family support, and I'm sure their efforts are going to pay off because you got to keep trying. You got to keep knocking on the doors. You can't give up, and that's got to be motivating to people. We can't guarantee that they're gonna come up with a successful ending, and we can't guarantee that they're going to come up with a tragic ending.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Just as long as we keep trying, and that's I guess the biggest motivator right there. You got to keep going, keep moving forward. Well, yeah, maybe you should write a statement. I know people consider you this terrible, brutal murderer, but the Innocence Project's working with you, and with this new evidence and stuff, you could be out. And this could be an opportunity for you to let them know that you're still
You have 30 seconds remaining.
And you still care about your children. And that you want to take part in this and help your family. Well, yeah, there's going to be the haters that say, you deserve this because you committed a crime. But that's not always the case. You're an innocent man locked away, and we got to let everybody know that. Okay, well, good luck with all of that. I wish you the best, and let me know if I can be of any assistance to you. Hello, I'm Joel Wilborn, and welcome to another episode of AQS Inmate Call. And I was on the phone with William Clay. He is in prison for a brutal murder, which he says he did not commit. And so he's got a team out there working to try to convince the justice system that he needs another trial to prove his innocence and get out. So with that going on in the background, he also found out that his daughter is missing. And he is, of course, banging off the walls. Just imagine that. Imagine being locked in prison and then having a beloved family member go missing. Of course, he's on the phone. He's reaching out the best he can. And he would call the police department. And at first, they were accepting his calls and taking the charges, because when they call, you can either call with your own funds or the receiver can pay for the call. They don't do collect anymore like they used to, which I think is cheaper, actually. So you just have to prepay it, or it's paid for by the inmate. So he was calling, they were accepting it, and then they stopped accepting it, so he would call with his own money. And then they got tired of that and blocked him. And can you imagine, we'll do this again. We'll try to put ourselves in his place. Somebody's missing. You call the police department to get an update. You're doing it because you want to get information, and you're doing it to ease your mind, and you're doing it just to keep the search alive. And even though he's in prison, he's not there to walk into the office or to call. If something like this happened to you, I doubt you would just call the police department once a month. You would want some updates. And if somebody from the police department called you, like once a week or something, it's like, we can't call you every day, but we'll give you a call once a week to let you know what's going on. Even we haven't discovered anything yet. That's better than nothing. Because our minds go to the negative stuff. What if she's been kidnapped and she's being held captive and tortured and, one of those sex trafficking or something? Or what if she was brutally murdered? Or what if she is just lost, that her memory and stuff has gone off, and maybe she, this is winter, maybe she wandered off and died of exposure, or was in a car and the car turned over, or went into a lake. All these negative thoughts are going to be popping through his mind. He's not going to be thinking that she's sitting in some homeless shelter trying to figure out who she is, or she's in a hospital in a coma, or maybe she's just decided she doesn't want to deal with all of the issues anymore and just ran off. There's a lot that could go through a person's mind, and most of it isn't the positive stuff. You don't think good things when somebody you care about's missing. And so this is going through his mind. This is popping. And I can't understand completely how he feels. I've never been in a situation like that, but I've known a few people who have. And I know this has got to be frustrating. And you need all the comfort you can get in a situation like that. And this is one of those things where the golden rule applies. If you're in the police department and you know that you want to call somebody and then the police department cuts you off, these officers got to understand how that makes the father feel. And we can say whatever we want about somebody that's been convicted of murder. Just because a person's in prison doesn't mean that person is guilty, and it doesn't mean the person should be there. It doesn't even mean that we should cast this person aside. They're still humans. They still have feelings. They still have family issues. They still care about people, and they still want to be treated as equals and as somebody who's suffering. So that's something that we definitely need to take note of. And I hope when you're going through your general day-to-day activities, you think about the loved ones who are affected by somebody being locked away. It could be a father, a brother, mother, sister, child. And their feelings, their love, their commitment, their dedication, loyalty, all that stuff doesn't get put aside because the person's locked up. It's still there. And children are really affected by this stuff. Now, this one here, it's the opposite. The child is missing. And, even though the child is an adult, she's out there and nobody knows what's going on. So it's got to be hard on him sitting in there thinking about that. And that's something that, to me, is just extra punishment. And it wouldn't kill anybody just to have a counselor or somebody sit and talk with him to try to ease his discomfort. And maybe be a spokesperson for the outside world. I know there's only so much volunteers can do. If the more you have looking at this case and trying to help find this missing person, the better off you are for your normal activities. His children could be doing all this stuff to try to find her. And, they still have their families to take care of. They still have their job. And, of course, the other issues that pop up in their life. And so if they can band together and kind of devote as much time as they can to it, and the volunteers can, and community leaders, and if the police department, maybe even the sheriff's department can do something like that, it helps. Now, we're not asking that people devote all their time or give up anything. It's just that there's strength in numbers in something like this. And for somebody just to keep the line of communication open with him, it's good. We can't call the prison, so somebody in the prison should be able to call him into the office and just say, this is what we've heard. And, yeah, he's locked away for a crime, and he was convicted. It's just that he's still human, and there is that possibility that he'll be released because they find new evidence, and it was enough to prove his innocence. And that's just life. Not everybody's in prison forever, which is a good thing. It's just a bad thing when you lock somebody up, especially for decades. When they spend most of their life in prison for something they didn't do, that's heartbreaking. And it's also heartbreaking that they would sentence a person to death only to find out later this person is innocent. So there are better ways to handle the penal system, and I don't think the way they're doing it right now is very fair. And it doesn't allow for mistakes. No matter what you plan on, if you have a long-term goal or something like that, you have to take into consideration when something goes wrong. What if you run out of money? What if there's a natural disaster? What if a bunch of people quit? What if there's controversy in the news? These are things you have to prepare for. And in a search or in a conviction or even in a career path, there's strength in numbers. And the more people that are working with you, the better your chances of getting the right result. If you get this bad publicity and everybody's against you, yeah, what's that going to do? How's that going to help anything? And it's certainly not going to reduce crime or end crime. You gotta take it with a good approach. And there are some people out there, other prison reformists, that want to improve what we already have. And we can do that. We can definitely do that. We just need to work together. So I'm hoping you'll consider the other victims of a conviction, the loved ones. Remember them whenever you discuss the people who are locked away. If you're looking for a cause in life, just reach out and talk to somebody. You know, on my YouTube channel, the Joel Wilborn channel, you can connect with some of the people who are locked away through the JPay app, jpay.com. You can go there, set up an account if you don't already have one, and just reach out to these folks and ask, you know, how are you feeling? What's going on? Is there anything I can do to help? And a lot of these folks are willing to talk to you. And then you can learn what goes on in their mind and what motivates them each morning, what keeps them alive. You just need to talk to them and ask them questions and you know, just show some support. Hopefully that could help them spread the word around to say, hey, there's people out there who don't despise us and don't want us being treated inhumanely. And, you know, that's a good motivator. That helps people feel better. So just kind of think about that and the effect that something like this situation would have on loved ones. You know, if a child sees his father locked away for 30 years, you know, what's that do to him? Is he going to grow up a happy, healthy individual, or is he going to need a lot of support to help guide him through the tough times? Things that we consider normal activities could be very, very trying on him. And just a little bit of help could go a very long way in situations like this. Well, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check out the YouTube channel, and hopefully you can connect with somebody. And if you have a loved one in prison, you're not alone. There are a lot of groups out there that will help you out. You can even go to the AmericanQuitance.org website and check out some resources to help you out. So go out and have yourself a wonderful day and make beautiful memories for tomorrow.